My many years of living outside San Jose, Costa Rica, coupled with my business of entertaining foreign clients around the Central Valley, brought me to every nook and cranny of this Central American paradise. But not every paradise is palm trees and white sand beaches, and oftentimes, more deviant, adventure seeking tourists seek out the dark underbelly of the country. Today, I'm going to share with you what to know about the seedy red light district of San Jose, Costa Rica, as well as share some safety tips in case you end up taking the plunge to see more of the dark side of San Jose's main streets. Where exactly is the red zone in Costa Rica? The red zone starts 1 block north of the Mercado Central in an area dubbed the Gringo Gulch, and it's centered by the now mainstream Hotel Del Rey, a place of the past. Referred to with locals by the Zona Roja, or translated to the English red zone, this is an area of downtown San Jose where your chances of getting robbed, stabbed, or worse are greatly amplified. No matter what time of the day or night you visit this section, you can be certain to expect to find prostitutes, drugs, and a lot of people who are, well, flat out bad apples. You'll certainly run into some erratic crackheads and be able to score pretty much any drug you choose, as well as cheap prostitution, but this area is one that should be entered with extreme caution and never alone. Before anything, know that prostitution is legal in Costa Rica. However, pimping is illegal, and more so, sex with minors is a very serious crime. Do not even think about it unless you want to spend time rotting away in a very subpar prison with awful living conditions and little chances of getting a speedy and fair trial. I'll repeat, don't even think about it. You could perhaps be approached by children offering sex and drugs, often at ages that may shock you. Do not engage with them and move on. Hotels are keen on getting identification from any visitor you have in your hotel to make sure they are of age, as they look to protect everyone from doing something stupid. Now, red light district safety tips. There's many of them. Number one, STDs are very common in this area, as well as prostitution seen in Costa Rica that you'll find anywhere. With it being legal and rampant, be very careful and always use protection. You'll hear stories like, oh, I never do this, or I just got tested. Do not fall for this crap. Don't trust anyone, no matter how convincing or sweet they may seem. In fact, according to Wikipedia, an estimated 13,800 people live in Costa Rica with HIV and AIDS. A lot of this has to do with sex tourism, and most of it's confined to young adults and even teenagers. People from 15 to 24, accounting for over 10% of the population infected in Costa Rica. Look, I don't care how seasoned of a traveler you are, how street smart you are, or how good your Spanish is, you are not in Kansas anymore. There's organized crime even in low-level barrios where people are impoverished and oftentimes will bait you into an attractive situation with an attractive woman, offering you something you want, only to have lurkers nearby waiting to rob you. If you are a tourist, you are a target. You have a higher probability of being beat up, robbed, or stabbed than anywhere in the country. Now, also watch out for transsexual escorts in San Jose. And hey, if trans is your thing, carry on and do your thing, legally, of course. In passing through this area dozens, if not hundreds of times, I've seen it all and could write a book about it. It's well known that the streets of San Jose are lined with trans women who are sex workers. These transvestite sex workers and escorts are not allowed in the more mainstream hotels and bars. If I'm being honest, oftentimes they are hard to identify until you're very close and start noticing manly features. Be very careful. While most are simply sex workers looking for a companion who is into that, others are there to flat out rob you. Now, the trans women usually work in two areas. First, around the Parque Morazan, very popular park in the center of San Jose, and the Costa Rica Institute of Technology. I've walked the Gringo Gulch late at night and bounced from the Fiesta Casino to the now closed Horseshoe Casino and everywhere in between. You'll have to pass by this area, which is usually a popular hangout akin to the Central Park in New York. At night, it brings out a whole different crowd, and you must keep your head on a swivel. The other area is the area around the Hospital Clinica Biblica and the Ministry of Public Works and Transport. While these aren't the only two areas, these are the hot spots where the most streetwalkers will lurk. Now, on a very sad note for humanity, there's lots of violence against these types of people. There have been attacks on them with people throwing rocks, shooting pellets at them, and more. For that reason, I tend to avoid these areas at night at all costs. However, sometimes we have to leave town and go to do back streets. I lived in Escazú for a long time. I had to make this traverse. Sometimes you go through those zones. So be very careful. If you're at stoplights or stop signs, keep your head on a swivel. You could be approached for people you might not even see. Do not engage with these people and get away at all costs. In summary, be very careful anywhere in San Jose, but especially if you venture into the red light district. Always take an Uber after dark or a taxi. If you're walking during the day, do so in groups. Stay inside venues and don't linger in the streets, as you'll attract attention to yourself. Do not wear flashy jewelry. Throw money around like you're some sort of baller, and only keep your head on a swivel. Just keep it right there, looking around like this. Do anything you can to blend in with the crowd. Dress like them. This may mean dressing down or wearing dark clothes that are non-designer brands, but hey, do it. You can never be too careful in a third world country, and this is even more important in the Zona Roja of San Jose. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.